Hi everybody, welcome back to Spyro, and now we're doing treetops. I think this is the last regular level of this world. I don't know. It's also one of my least favorite. This level is very big and very confusing. And I, as you'll see, left in a little bit of the aimless wandering around that I did in this level, but I cut out about 15 minutes of it later in the video, so yeah. If anyone wants to tell me how to do anything, then that'd be awesome. That was great. I cut out most of it, but I lost the vast majority of my lives in the course of doing this level because there's a lot of supercharging and then jumping off of ramps and such that you have to do, and some of them are a little tricky and other ones just don't make sense to me. I don't really get it. There are just places in the level that I have no idea how you are meant to get there, because one of the like two dragons in this entire level, this gigantic level, he does give you a hint of like, don't just do one supercharge, like you can string them together, but I don't really know how you can do that here, so no one in the comments during this LP has really, offered much of an explanation of the confusing parts of this game, so I really should just, look up a guide if I want to know, but I've been lazy, so I haven't done that. And this spot I hadn't even been to before. I completely neglected the little bridge outside that window that I went out in the beginning instead of going down the normal linear path. So yeah, he tells you, don't stop at just one supercharge, which makes me think that, okay, so you do a supercharge, and then you land on a thing that has another supercharge, and you keep it going, and you build up speed, and you can get to these really far away places that don't make any sense. But, this just leads to a normal-ass thing, and you need to go into flying mode in order to not fall and die, which makes your supercharge go away. So, yeah, I'm confused. But I don't really care, as long as we get to the end of the game and get all of the dragons, or at least the majority of them, that'll be cool. And I don't think I end up missing any dragons in this, except for that one over there. I don't know how to get to that one in the distance behind me now. Yeah, that thing down there. I have no idea how to get there. It looks like it should be perfectly reachable. Not this one, but the one over to the right. You saw it. But yeah, right over there. There's barriers on the side of that platform that I just came from. And so, yeah, I don't know what you're meant to do, but whatever. I don't think, other than that, I missed any dragons. Maybe I'll come back to it later on before the end of the run. It's good that they give you extra lives, and yeah, I guess I'm supposed to have used my supercharge to bash that thing. And here's the end of the level, because that's the thing you like to see after you've been in it for 3 minutes. Yeah, and then this part up here, up top, I have no idea how to get to. As far as I know, you can't reach it from the supercharge ramp here that this blue magic takes you back to. I have failed every time I have tried it, not just in this run, but in my first run. Yeah, there's jewels and stuff up there, or gems. Sorry, this isn't Bejeweled. And yeah, I think I'm technically going backwards through this part, but I really don't know, what route they expect you to take, or, how they expect you to know to get around, or how they expect you to get around in the first place. I have no idea. And I felt really cool having 11 lives, but by the end of this I'll have like 2, because I did a lot of falling off of things. So yeah, I think you're supposed to use that ramp to get to here, but I didn't do that, so I just flew over here. And this is the problem with this level, is that there are some places that you can't, like, just come back from. Not that you're, like, completely fucked, but just that you have to, like, go through this whole convoluted route of the level of flying around and supercharging. And then sometimes the blue magic won't even pick you up for some fucking reason, and you'll fall, and then you just have to go from wherever you last were. I don't think I need to say anything more. It's confusing. I tried to turn after doing a supercharge on this ramp. That did not work. So I'm just gonna carry on after all of this is done. I don't know if I end up getting over there. I think I managed to find my way over there. Yeah, that's me saying, how in tarnation do I get there, buddy? Yeah, and again, I guess you can get there with your supercharge, but you usually have to use your flying. And yeah, here I am just back at the end again. So, it's a very weird level. It just makes me feel like I'm on an MC Escher staircase, where I feel like I'm making progress and then I just have looped around to something I already saw. But whatever. So, hi. How's everyone doing? I've been hanging out. Nothing has been going on as per usual. I've been sitting in my house, not knowing when I'm going to go back to work, or when anything is going to be even a little bit normal ever again, probably not. And I'm, it sucks because, like, for, several years up to this point, I've always thought to myself, like, if I didn't have, like, school and then work and whatever to worry about, then I feel like I could, I could really get a lot done, that I could, finally have time to, like, write all of these video essay ideas that I think about, and, just do a bunch of stuff, and, like, plow through a bunch of books or whatever, and get through a lot of movies and all that jazz. And, I was even, before the pandemic, I was even thinking, like, oh, I'll, finally get into the city and try to make some sort of, like, short documentary thing. That's what I've been wanting to do. I don't even really have a topic in mind. I have a camera and I want to make some sort of, like, new professional filmed project that I can hopefully, like, use as a means of, like, showing off my work, because all the work that I have is from college, which A, isn't very good, and B, is quite old, and, like, not new. And, I just have very little, like, actual published or finished professional-looking work to show for myself for any sort of potential job that actually has to do with the industry I'd like to be in, to get hired. And, all of that seems kind of up in the air at the moment, because, I don't know when anything will be anything again. And, yeah, this didn't go very well. Not a great experiment there. This is when I started trying shit and failing, and I, will be cutting to when I just decide to leave the level in a little bit. Have no idea what happened here. this is really fucking annoying. This was the reason for many of my deaths. I don't know what I did differently on these supercharges, because you just go to the end of them and jump off, and then you wait a minute and you fly, but like I just did there, but for some reason it just like stops you in the middle sometimes. I have no idea. I went through the entirety of all of the places in this level that I have gone so far. I went to all of them like at least 8 or 9 times before finally doing this. And then, of course, once I wanted to get back, I had to find my way back to the end, and I had to go on all these supercharges, and I was fucking dying on those, and that just made everything take twice as long. So, yeah, what you have just seen was actually like 25 minutes of gameplay condensed into not that much. But now we can go on to the boss level, which is also unreasonably large and, confusing. Yeah, you can see how many lives I lost. There's a little thing that takes you up to where to the top layer, and you don't have to fight these guys every time, but I got the extra life out of it. I was just looking for the little dots that add up to an extra life. I was just trying to add to those. But anyway, yeah, so, like, that was my sort of thought process for a while. Just, like, if I had that free time, then I would make all these video essays. I would really try to, like, get my content-making game going. And, I mean, on the one hand, like, I've been making, you know, pretty much the same number of videos per month on my main channel as I was before, and I've, you know, continued to update this channel pretty frequently, and I'm glad that I've had more time to stream at the very least. I haven't been, like, completing a billion video games or anything, but it's been nice to be able to, like, you know, play stuff with friends and, you know, do Twitch stuff. You know, if you aren't a regular viewer of my Twitch streams, like, I do them every, like, 2 or 3 days, usually, and I don't know, I think they're a fun time, and they're especially more fun when there are people, like, talking in the chat, so, I don't know, if you want to be my friend, then you can do that. But, you know, now I'm in this situation where I'm literally being paid to stay home, although that's apparently going to stop at the end of this month, which is awesome. And I haven't really written any video essays. I made the Hollywood Crash Revisited video, but it wasn't even really a video essay. It was just kind of an editorial or whatever, just me talking, which is fine, but, like, the truth of the matter is, like, the video essays, as I've said before, are like a whole thing, because they need to be, like, I need to have an actual organic, like, thing to say about something, and I usually want to, like, research it. I want it to be something that doesn't already have a billion video essays about it on YouTube, and there are a lot of them. I don't know how this gem just got stuck there, but whatever. Or why you can't collect it unless you're on top of it. I've never understood that. I really like the sound that those guys make when they die. And yeah, there's this whole section on the top here that I have no idea how to get to. Again, if anyone wants to tell me how, then that's fine. The actual boss fight is inside this little temple thing. And yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that you come out of something on top of there and then can fly to the rest of this shit, but I have no idea how to get there, so.
Attacking the power pole should disrupt its power supply.
But yeah, so I've been, like, kind of bummed about that, like, a little hard on myself about that. It's, you know, you know, a bunch of other shit, I don't know if I've talked about it before, but one of the things that I've been doing the last few years, because you know, in an effort to try and get more organized and more motivated and, like, actually do the things that I say that I want to do, I make a goals list. I have a yearly one, I have a monthly one, and sometimes if there's, like, a day where I really want to be particular about like how I divvy up my time, I'll make a daily list of goals and, you know, basically just things that I want to do. The daily ones, it's usually like I have a couple different videos to work on or whatever. I usually do it if I'm home alone, and so I have a lot of downtime, and so I want to like make sure that I remember to use that time for certain things. But yeah, and then sometimes for the month, it'll usually just be like movies I want to watch, because there are certain, you know, movies that are on my watch list that get taken off of whatever streaming thing they're on at the end of the month, so I want to make a point to watch them while I still can for free, and stuff like that. But then the yearly goals are obviously a little bit more broad, and, you know, they're more about like actually completing tasks. They're usually, you know, some number of video essays, some number of other kind of videos, some number of independent projects that I do, and I don't really ever do them. Like, making the lists hasn't changed the fact that just like in day-to-day life, it's very difficult to do a lot of those things. And I don't even just mean difficult in terms of motivation, although often it is, but difficult in terms of logistics. I mean, even before the pandemic, like, I would love to make, you know, unlike my mom, you know, and this is not to bitch about her, but she'll often be like, you know, you should use this time to, you know, make something or whatever, and it's like, that would be great. Like, I would like want to try at least put in the effort to like film some sort of independent actual film project, not just a YouTube video, but like I need people to do that. Like, and even if there wasn't this bullshit going on, I don't know how to get up here, by the way. This looks like you should just be able to jump from here and fly to it, and I cut it out, but I tried this like 25 times and it didn't work. If anyone wants to tell me how you can do fucking anything in this game, please do. But yeah, even just like logistically, even before all of this, like most of the people that I know don't live here anymore, and like either way, they all have jobs and like their own things to do, and very understandably wouldn't want to put a bunch of hours into doing like elements of filmmaking that I'm not personally good at for probably no money, because I don't have money to give them, when they could be doing like paid work because they had actual work to show on their way out of college and were somehow able to get something resembling a job that they wanted. I'm not speaking for everybody that I went to film school with, but a lot of the more talented people that I'm friends with, for obvious reasons. And yeah, maybe it's like very negative to think this way, but it, because it certainly doesn't do anything good for my self-esteem to be like, well, you know, those people are just better than you, and that's why they're in a better position. And like, who am I to say that the position they're in is great or whatever? But it just, in terms of like, they're making creative work, they are at least on something of a trajectory for a career in the thing they studied. And I can't say the same for myself even a little bit. And on the one hand, like, yes, I suppose in my life I have quite a bit of time to figure that stuff out. I'm pretty young. But, you know, for one thing, none of that is guaranteed. And for another thing, like, look at all this shit going on. Like, is it... It's not guaranteed at all that, you know, like, the industry I want to work in will even exist in the way it does now when I would supposedly be able to be part of it. And, like, I don't know. It's I don't know. It's very hard to stay motivated to do those things. And I'm sorry that I've now done 2 videos of Spyro in a row where I'm talking about something incredibly depressing. I will try to not do so much of that, but it is what has been on my mind. And it reminds me, so I've talked before about wishing that you could just like move from America easily. Like, it's stupid that America not only sucks, but you can't just like decide you're going to live somewhere else without complication, which I think you should be able to do. I think you should be able to be like, okay, I want to be in Sweden now, and then you just do that. And yeah, this flying mission is kind of a pain in the ass. This is the first one where there's not really much of any linear way to go, but this way that I'm doing here, where you go up the canal to get the boats first, and do just kind of... You kind of have to go with the flow. You're not going to have like a straight path of getting those in the arches. Getting those out of the way first, then taking the tunnel with all the chests, and then you get to the flying dudes at the end. But anyway, if I were to move to another country, I think the best way that I would be able to do that is on like a student visa, which would actually be good if I were able to afford going to another school, which, you know, who fucking knows about that. But that would be good, because something that I've said for a long time is that if college weren't so expensive, and if it weren't all just about getting a job, like if it were really just about like learning something and not about like preparing you to, you know, put yourself into the meat grinder for money for the rest of your life, I would go to college for like 12 more years and just like learn about other subjects, because there's lots of things I like to learn about things, but it would be nice to have like a structured environment to do it in, especially if it were in like a new place. Especially history. I would love to go to school for history, but I like, yeah, that might be the best way if shit really goes. It sounds weird it feels weird to say like if shit gets really bad, because like it already is, but it could get worse, I assume. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, yeah, next time I promise I will not be depressing. We will go into the next world. See you then for that.